there was a meme that I heard of the other day that was like, where are you on the pandemic chart? It was like on this side you're driving in your car by yourself with your mask on,
Yeah.
and on this one you're in the basement learning about the Illuminati.
Yeah, yeah.
So
That's accurate.
it's yeah, it's I mean, yeah, it's so intense out there. I mean, have you experienced a lot of just like working with working with people and your clients and everything, like
Yeah.
just like miraculous transformations even as it relates to this subject?
Actually, yeah. So here's the interesting part. The first thing that I did when I started to feel resistance towards the pandemic and fear coming up is stopped and went within and did the self-inquiry and questioned what I was believing that was causing me stress. Maybe 3 months later, we had a retreat out here in Sedona. I live in Sedona, so we're also in a totally different reality in Sedona.
Yeah.
It's like 50-50 here. Like half of everyone is like, what pandemic? And they'll ask you to take your masks off in stores. And then the other half are like in the pandemic. So it's a really interesting place to be right now. Love it. So as I made that shift and started to not really it's almost like I'd forget there was a pandemic. I'm sure you've had that experience sometimes. I might like see some things, but I'm just acting in my excitement and I'm like, okay, I'm not really being affected. I don't feel affected by what's going on in the collective at this point. A lot of the people, I'd say majority of them that are in our programs or that came out to the retreat had the same exact beliefs because they were reflecting me. They were reflecting our little bubble reality.
Yeah.
So, we had people travel out and, maybe 2 months ago when things were a little more intense, from all parts of the world to Sedona, getting on planes, layovers. And, they had some things come up, and it usually connects back to the fear of death, the fear of being out of control, powerlessness, and really the same steps that I've taken myself through will take them through, and always comes, to the same realization that they're believing a belief that just is not true. That is literally doesn't make any sense, but they just have to realize that themselves. But moreover, like more often than not, it's been a really one-to-one reflection with my immediate circle of clients and community that have just kind of been reflecting, what I most strongly believe about the pandemic.
Mm-hmm. It's so interesting. You're just talking about, or you reminded me of like in the Sedona vibe of like what pandemic versus, it's really serious. Um, I just got back late last night from a business trip to Edmonton. I was like, it was like a workshop that I was taking that was there. But I had like one free day where I was mostly spending with family, but in the morning I had some time with friends and we went to West Edmonton Mall. And I don't know if you're familiar with this place. It's like the largest mall in all
I've
of
been there
Canada.
once.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it looks like
there's
a
like
roller coaster.
there's like a roller coaster, there's
Yeah,
Fantasyland, there's like, there's like
yeah,
a big boat in the middle of the mall and all sorts of stuff. And they have a big water park with like water slides and a wave pool and everything like that. So it's interesting, like you go into the mall and it's like mandatory masks everywhere. Like everyone's
yeah.
got a mask, social distancing, staying apart. And then you go you go to the water park, which is where we went, and it is just like, no, you don't have to wear a mask here unless you're in line to buy food. Then you have to wear a mask. So you're in the wave pool, and there's like 50 people all like in this very close proximity getting
Yeah,
blasted by the water. And it's like, no, 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 the virus, it won't travel here. That's fine.
yeah, yeah.
It's just
That's
like
hilarious.
two very polarizing experiences, but
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of things right now that are happening that just don't make sense.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah. I saw a just kind of jumping topics a little bit, but still very relevant to things not making sense. There's I don't know if you follow JP Sears and all of his videos. He posted that one like how a civil war could start, which was I thought was just amazing, like so informative. I was so blown away by it because he's also so funny, but it was like very insightful to really to have him like really delineate, be like, look, everyone says that Biden won, and maybe he will, but it actually hasn't been announced or decided yet. It's just the media has decided for everybody, and they made everyone believe that this was the outcome, even if it wasn't. And so, in terms of like things not making sense, there's another one we can definitely mark off on the 2020 insanity calendar of like what's really going on here.
Yeah.
Who
Well,
even knows?
it's like, Bashar's been calling, Bashar channel by Daryl Anka.
Yeah,
He's been
yeah.
calling the window between 2020 and 2023 the eye of the needle, which is essentially like refining your expression, your sense of self in a way that is most exciting, most preferential to you, because you're in this like tornado of possibility and different parallel realities all converging that are going to reflect back to you anything you haven't been looking at. So it's kind of like you can ride that wave and have extreme acceleration into a more positive future or now. Or you can get caught up in the game, and the game is who's right, who's wrong, left versus right. I need to make more money. I need to get achievements. Like that's the game. And right now, like in our company, we call it the game of the game, which is what's the game of the game? It's who we're being now in the process. It's are we having a lot of fun with the process? Like are the means the actually feeling like the end to us? Like can we actually feel good about doing something, sharing something, creating something just for its own sake and not wanting to gain or get security, safety, or whatever it might be. And that's been a great game changer for us, is just to focus on that, the game of the game.
Cool. So that's kind of like your how would you describe this? Like I often like to relate life as a video game in a sort of like a game like quality to life, in the sense of like who, it's like you get to choose your character and what kind of outfit your character wears and what kind of mannerisms that they have. And then there's like with that character, what do you do out in the world? So would you say like the game of the game is sort of part of that? Who is your avatar that is playing the game?
The person playing the game, like on the controller.
Yeah.
And it's like if you're really just playing the game, you're that type of kid with like Cheetos all over your face, and you're just pissed off, like you lose the level and you chuck the controller and like that's when you're playing the game. When you're playing the game of the game, you lose the level and you go, oh man, that was really exciting. What did I learn? Oh, I learned this. That was a success then. Cool, I'm still happy.
I like that. That's very well said. Yeah. So what would you say then for someone who's listening to this, for someone who wants to start playing the game of the game? Like what is the first step that you would recommend someone starts with for getting into that, getting the Cheetos off their face, getting a little less angry while they're playing?
Yeah. First of all, don't eat any processed Cheetos. Just don't. Just skip that. Learn from, past generations. The first step for me would be self-honesty. So it's being really honest with yourself. Are you acting in your highest excitement or not? That's really the question. Am I doing what I really love in life, what I'm really passionate about, or not? And it's very easy to not be honest and say, well, this is my highest excitement because it's what I think I need to do in order to then get somewhere exciting. Like a lot of people go, well, I'm doing this so I can create financial freedom, or so I can create something that will then let me just relax and do what I love. And that's not the same thing. That's a condition. So being really honest with yourself. Are you acting in your excitement and joy? What do you really think about yourself and other people? And getting really honest and just doing an honest self-evaluation. Because if you're not willing to look at your shadow and the aspects of yourself that are creating resistance and negativity, then you can act on your excitement all you want, but you're going to keep oscillating between, I'm acting on my excitement, now I'm going to go and avoid my anxiety that's coming up. Excitement, avoid anxiety. And you're just going to you're not really going to go anywhere. So self-honesty is huge, because you have to know where you're at now and really accept that. And learn the process of transformation. Learn how to question your own mind, because as soon as you get honest with yourself and you go, you know what, I'm lying to this person, I don't want to be in this relationship. I'm lying to myself. I don't want to be in this career. I'm lying to myself to say that I'm not worried all the time about this. Like, get really honest. Then you have the ability to actually change those beliefs and those patterns. But until there's honesty and a desire to change, nothing will change.
Hmm. Just being with that. That's really good. Yeah. I mean, and even like, just sometimes that's I think part of the key too is taking in the information and being with it. I often find that I want to fill the space of silence with, more dialogue, and it's just like, wait a second. He said something profound. Let's think about that for a second.
Yeah, maybe we should just have a little moment of silence for the viewers just to sink in.
Yeah.